The story begins in a lively university campus in London. The air is always filled with laughter, footsteps rushing to classes, and the chatter of students in the hallways. Among hundreds of students, there were two people who never imagined how deeply their lives were about to change. Her name was Sophia Williams. She was 20 years old, a bright, cheerful girl with dreams as wide as the sky. She had always been hard-working, a little shy, but her smile could light up any room. She loved books more than anything else, and the library was her favorite place on campus. His name was Ethan Miller. He was 21, tall, confident, and had a charm that made everyone notice him. But beyond his looks, Ethan was kind-hearted, respectful, and the type of person who always stood up for others. He wasn't just popular for his looks, but for the way he treated people with warmth. Their story began in the most ordinary way. One morning, Sophia walked into the library carrying a pile of books. She struggled to balance them, and just when she thought they might fall, a hand reached out and caught the top book before it slipped. "Careful," Ethan said with a smile. "Looks like you're carrying half the library with you." Sophia laughed softly, slightly embarrassed. "I just like reading a lot." That was the first moment their eyes met, and though it seemed small, it was the beginning of something neither of them could have predicted. From that day, they began to notice each other more often, crossing paths in the cafeteria, passing by each other in the hallways, sitting in the same lecture hall. Slowly, their small conversations grew longer. Ethan would tease her about her love for books. "Sophia, do you ever talk to people, or just to characters in novels?" She would smile back and reply, "Characters in novels are often more interesting than people in real life." But soon, she discovered Ethan was different. He wasn't just another student, he was genuine. When Sophia missed a lecture because she wasn't feeling well, Ethan appeared at her dorm with notes he had written carefully for her. When she felt nervous during presentations, Ethan's reassuring smile from the audience gave her confidence. Weeks turned into months, and the friendship between them grew deeper. Sophia began to feel something she had never felt before. Every time Ethan called her name, her heart raced. Every time he walked beside her, the world felt brighter. But Sophia, being shy, never admitted her feelings. She thought someone like Ethan, admired by everyone, would never look at her in that way. What she didn't know was that Ethan felt the same. He admired her kindness, her intelligence, and the way she looked at the world. He loved the way she treated even strangers with respect. He had met many girls in university, but none had touched his heart the way Sophia did. One evening, after class, they sat together under a tree near the campus garden. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Ethan looked at Sophia and asked softly, "Do you believe in destiny?" Sophia tilted her head. "Destiny? Yes," Ethan replied. "Like two people who are meant to meet, no matter what." Sophia's heart skipped a beat, but she laughed lightly to hide her feelings. "That only happens in books." Ethan smiled. "Maybe. Or maybe it happens in real life too." That night, Sophia couldn't sleep. His words kept echoing in her mind. She began to wonder if maybe, just maybe, Ethan felt the same way. Days passed, and their bond grew even stronger. They studied together, shared meals, and spent hours talking about dreams, fears, and life. The university no longer felt like just a place to study, it felt like a place where love was quietly blooming. And then, the moment that changed everything arrived. It was the annual cultural festival at the university, a day filled with performances, games, and excitement. The auditorium was packed with students, professors, and even guests from outside. The energy in the air was electric. Sophia was sitting in the audience with her friends, laughing and enjoying the performances. She had no idea that something extraordinary was about to happen. Ethan, meanwhile, had been planning for weeks. He had spoken to the event organizers, arranged everything carefully, and prepared himself for the most important moment of his life. He was nervous, but determined. When the host announced a special surprise performance, the lights dimmed, and everyone looked toward the stage. Ethan walked onto the stage, holding a microphone. The entire auditorium erupted in cheers. He was well liked, and everyone was curious about what he was going to do. Sophia's eyes widened in shock. "What is he doing?" she whispered to her friend. Ethan began to speak. His voice trembled slightly at first, but then grew strong. "Good evening, everyone. Today, I don't want to perform a song or a dance. I want to do something more important. Something that comes from my heart." The audience grew silent, sensing the seriousness in his tone. Ethan continued, "There's someone here who changed my life in ways I never thought possible. She's kind, beautiful, intelligent, and she has the most amazing heart. From the first time I met her in the library, I knew there was something special about her." Sophia's heart raced. She felt her cheeks burning. Could he be talking about her? Ethan's eyes searched the crowd until they found Sophia. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, the entire world faded away for both of them. With a deep breath, Ethan said, "Sophia Williams, will you please come up on stage?" The auditorium erupted in gasps and cheers. All eyes turned to Sophia. Her hands shook, and her friends urged her to go. Slowly, nervously, she walked up to the stage, her heart beating faster with every step. When she reached him, Ethan took her hand gently. He went down on one knee in front of the entire university. The crowd went wild, clapping, cheering, and whistling. "Sophia," Ethan said, his voice filled with emotion. "I love you with all my heart. You are the most incredible person I've ever known. Will you be mine forever? Will you marry me?" Tears welled up in Sophia's eyes. She covered her mouth with her hands, overwhelmed. The entire auditorium held its breath, waiting for her answer. And with a trembling voice, she finally whispered, "Yes." The crowd exploded into applause and cheers. Students stood on their feet, clapping and shouting. It felt like the entire world was celebrating their love. Ethan slipped a ring onto her finger as tears of happiness streamed down her face. He stood, pulled her into his arms, and hugged her tightly as the crowd chanted, "Say yes! Say yes! Say yes!" It was a moment that no one in that university would ever forget. For Sophia and Ethan, it was the beginning of forever. The proposal in the university became the most talked about moment on campus. Students shared pictures and videos, and within hours, Sophia and Ethan's love story spread everywhere. For Sophia, it all felt like a dream she never thought would come true. After that night, things changed between them. Their bond grew even deeper. Walking through campus hand in hand, studying together in the library, or just sharing quiet conversations in the garden, all of it felt magical. But love, no matter how beautiful, comes with its own challenges. When Sophia told her parents about Ethan, her mother was surprised. "Are you sure about this, Sophia? You're so young. Marriage is a big step." Sophia nodded softly. "I know, Mom. But Ethan isn't just anyone. He makes me feel safe, loved, and respected. I've never been so sure of anything in my life." Her father was quiet at first, but after meeting Ethan in person, he was impressed by his sincerity and respectful nature. "You're a good man," he told Ethan. "If you promise to take care of my daughter, then you have my blessing." On the other side, Ethan's family also welcomed Sophia warmly. His mother hugged her the first time they met and said, "We can already see how happy you make him. That's all we want." With the blessings of their families, the couple began to dream about their future together. The months leading up to their wedding were filled with excitement. Sophia and Ethan planned everything with joy, choosing the venue, picking out invitations, and even arguing playfully about the cake flavor. One evening, while walking back from the wedding planner's office, Sophia looked at Ethan and said, "Sometimes I can't believe all of this is real. Do you ever feel that way?" Ethan smiled, holding her hand tighter. "Every single day. But then I look at you, and I know it's real. You're real. And you're mine." Their wedding day finally arrived. The ceremony was held in a beautiful garden filled with flowers, fairy lights, and laughter. The sky was clear, the air was fresh, and love surrounded everything. Sophia wore a white gown that made her look like a princess. Her friends gasped when they saw her, and one of them whispered, "Ethan is going to lose his mind when he sees you." Meanwhile, Ethan stood at the altar, nervous but excited. When he finally saw Sophia walking down the aisle, his eyes filled with tears. "She's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen," he whispered to himself. As Sophia reached him, he gently took her hands and smiled. "You're perfect," he said softly. The ceremony was emotional. They exchanged vows they had written themselves. Sophia's voice trembled as she said, "Ethan, from the first moment you helped me in the library, I felt something special. You've given me love, laughter, and strength. Today, I promise to stand by you in every joy and every struggle, for the rest of my life." Ethan took a deep breath, his eyes never leaving hers. "Sophia, you're my best friend, my love, and my forever. I promise to love you endlessly, to protect you, and to make you smile every single day." When the priest finally said, "You may now kiss the bride," the crowd erupted in cheers just like the day of their proposal. Ethan leaned forward, kissed Sophia gently, and everyone clapped and cheered again. The reception that followed was full of joy. Friends and family danced, laughed, and shared stories about the couple. Ethan even surprised Sophia by singing a song for her, making her blush as everyone cheered. Later that night, when the celebrations were over, Sophia and Ethan sat together under the stars. The music had faded, the guests had left, but they stayed, holding hands and looking at the sky. "Do you remember," Sophia whispered, "when you asked me if I believed in destiny?" Ethan smiled, pulling her closer. "Yes. And you said it only happens in books." She laughed softly. "I was wrong. It happens in real life too. With us." Ethan kissed her forehead. "Then let us write the rest of our destiny together." And so, their journey as husband and wife began, a journey filled with love, trust, and dreams. Their story became an inspiration on campus, a reminder that love, when it's pure and true, can turn ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. For Sophia and Ethan, the library, the garden, the classrooms, and the auditorium would always hold a special place in their hearts. It was where two souls had found each other, where a boy's courage and a girl's yes had changed everything. It was where love had written its most beautiful chapter, "He proposes me."